Welcome to the What's Already podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead and hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification buttons. Tell a friend about us. Tell a family member about us. Tell a crazy drunk pilot about us. Or maybe some Air Force people about us. Or,
preferably the drunk pilot.
Yeah, I like that guy. He's pretty funny. I'd probably
He's more like our speed.
Yeah, you probably hang out, easier hang out. The other one you can tell is a paranoid like TV programmer.
Ooh, yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that one. Other than him trying to save the world shit, he starts lecturing me about recycling. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
If you haven't figured it out, we're in week 2 of June, our summer kickoff movies, and we're just continuing down the line of we're doing it the right way for June so far. Independence Day is our next one. It was released July 3rd, 1996. It was written by Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich. It was directed by Roland Emmerich. It stars Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Mary McDonnell, Judd Hirsch, Robert Loggia, Randy Quaid, Margaret Collin, James Rebhorn, and Harvey Fierstein. Not to be confused with Harvey, the other one. There was also Adam Baldwin, Brent Spiner, Vivica Fox. This is another one that was pretty loaded with people as we, went on. I mean, even the president's daughter, Mae Whitman, went on to do quite a bit as far as acting and different roles. So really, really big movie. This was my pick. So I will.
Yeah, so tell us about it, JJ.
This is wild. So I have a real soft spot for this movie, and I'll tell you where it came. One, I saw it when it came out. I was 15, and at 15, this movie was amazing, right? Like Will Smith, action. This was it. Like when he was just like, this was probably the movie besides Bad Boys, right? So the original Bad Boys kicked him off as a movie star. He had the Fresh Prince going on at the time, so he was still killing it there. But this movie like took him to that notch of like ridiculous, right? And I remember when it came out, like he was funny. I love Bill Pullman. I love Randy Quaid. He's fucking hilarious. There's just a lot of people in this movie. Jeff Goldblum, he had recently just got off of Jurassic Park, so he was doing real well. There was a lot going on when this movie came out. But what really gave me a soft spot is, so I moved to Kentucky I moved from Kentucky to Utah in 1997, right after this movie came out. And the school that I went to from Kentucky, I went to Davis High School here in Utah, and Davis High School is always one of the things they were known for, at least back then. I don't know anymore because I haven't paid attention, but was their marching band. Well, I was a marching band nerd. And it was tough because I couldn't play football because I injured my back. And in Utah, like you couldn't do both. So when I was in Kentucky, I was in band and I played football, and that was cool. Everybody, like the football players loved the band, like in Kentucky, like it was a big deal. I came out to Utah, and Utah's band, like Davis High's band, was really good. Like they won competitions. They were usually top 3 in all the competitions against a couple of other bands. Like we were really good. But I couldn't play football. Even if I hadn't injured my back, I wouldn't have been able to play football because you had to do football. Utah's really weird. Like these shit was like your extracurriculars actually had classroom time as well. So like I couldn't play football and do band. It was really odd. They just didn't let you do it. So I chose band because of my back. And so I say all that to say we did a year after it came out, our band program for that year, the marching band program at Davis was Independence Day. And I got super stoked. So I was really pissed about moving to Utah when I was 16 years old. But then I got, I was like, I'm going to be going to this high school. We get this, here's the music. We're playing this. They sent me all the music I needed and stuff to practice. And I was like, fuck, I love Independence Day though. And I'll say Independence Day has a phenomenal score. So if you ever want to, if you like listening to movie scores, and this one's great. But because I played it for 6 months that year in 97, it always stuck with me as a great movie. And so like we watched it all the time when I was younger and in high school and then growing up. And it's one of those movies that no matter what, I really like it. Now, I listened to another podcast that helped me want to do a podcast, and they shit all over Independence Day. I was like, what? How the fuck dare you? This is a classic. Then I went back and watched it, and it's a little different now in 2025 than when I was a kid. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, what were your first impressions out? Because again, you were little.
Yeah. So like the first time I saw this, it was like replaying on TBS or something.
Yeah.
Right. And I was probably 10 or 11.
Mm.
And so, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a weird kind of enigma, right? Because for the time that came out, you almost have to go look for movies that are like this, right? And nothing ever seems to fit right into the vein of what they did with this. So it's very unique. Even to this day, you're searching for almost that same kind of feeling with the movie, same kind of plot twist in it. It's nothing ever really quite gets it, right? So it's kind of got this cool niche that it's stuck in. And like I'll be honest, first, like if you talk about movies being broken up into like 3 acts, right? The first act of this film is bar none amazing. Oh, I will sit there and tell you that you are wrong about everything if you disagree. Third act is okay, right? It's right up there. It's kind of middle. The fact that the first act is so good carries through the third act. Yeah. The second act shouldn't be there. It should not exist. It is terrible. And I think the problem is you have this great first act. Yeah. That takes half the movie. Yep. But it's such a good job. And you should skip anything to do with figuring out stuff about the aliens. And you should cut straight to Jeff Goldblum's and Will Smith going up into There's because the second act's like 30 minutes long. Yeah. Maybe. Right. It's probably closer to 20. Yeah. And it ruins the really just about everything that there's no defending it. Right. It's just it's stupid. But you can see the process that they're going to. And saying, oh, we need a reason for, figuring out this. So we're going to throw in Area 51 stuff, and we're going to throw in an alien, and we're going to, kind of do this whole weird thing that just doesn't belong. Yeah. Because you don't, it's unnecessary, right? Yep. The cards have already been dealt in the first act where, it's a struggle against, it's a struggle for humanity is essentially what you're up against. And then, so because that second act is so trash, like you get to the third act and you're almost like, now you're just nitpicking stuff. Right. Yeah. And so you have this, and then they throw in a little bit as well where they're not doing themselves any favors, right? Because you have this amazing speech by Bill Pullman. Oh, so good. Yeah. But they ruin it with certain parts that they throw in there. And so, like, overall, it's great. Like the first, 30, 45 seconds of the speech, it's like chills and goosebumps, and you're like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then they throw in a couple things that like you're like, oh, I didn't really need that, really need that, or that doesn't make much sense, or all this stuff. You're like, oh, but if they don't give you time to kind of think about that, because they just continuously ramp it up, because this is one of those movies where you should just start and ramp up to the end. Like we don't need any pullback to establish character and like that. You shouldn't have any character development in here. You should have stagnant characters that fucking just fill a role. Yeah. And because the entire movie, it's 2 days, 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. 4th of July, like there's no time for character development. So I don't need any kind of big sweeping change or setting stuff up that doesn't make any sense for later on. Like you're building almost emotional attachments or connections to people that are on screen for 3 minutes because they get blasted out of the air by aliens. Yeah. It's like, so it's interesting because it's in its own niche, and it's for part of it so amazing. I love the beginning of this, and the end is really good. It's got some problems, but it's really good. And then just sucks. And it's unfortunate because it's on the like that cusp of being just amazing. Yep. It just almost tries to do too much and just falls flat right there in the middle, right about hour and 35 minutes in. Yep. I love that you said it, because like that's such a good way to lay that out about like what's good and what's bad.
because after I heard this other podcast just completely shit on, I was like, fuck, now I gotta go watch it because now I feel like I'm an idiot because I love that movie. And to your point, you're so on point. Like the beginning, God, it's like the first 45 minutes of this movie is some of the greatest
setup tension.
Seriously, the tension and the visuals of like when it's like everybody's scrambling because these clouds are coming over, and then all of a sudden you have that moment where you see the fire with the plane, and then it's just alien ship, and you're like, oh fuck, and it's so big. And like this goofy moment of Will Smith going out to get the newspaper or the mail, and he kicks the fucking thing, and then he's looking at the neighbors like, what the fuck? And then he looks up and he's like, oh shit, right? Like that, it's just such a perfect way to like have some comedy, and then yet that you're like, this is not good. Like, and then you have these weird people, and you have all these different scenes because it's one of these movies that jumps around a lot. And normally I hate that shit, but it works really well with this movie. You jump to the strip club and it's empty, and yet the dude's still making them dance. And then the girl's going to go up to the rooftop, and then you jump to the Air Force base, and they're prepping for their shit and getting debriefed. And then you jump to the White House, and they're doing their thing. And you got Jeff Goldblum and his dad, who's one of the funniest those two on this movie are just phenomenal. And then you have but it just keeps bouncing, but the bouncing works because you're like, it keeps you on your toes. You're like, no, don't leave. I want to see what they're going to do here. You're like, what the fuck? Stop it. I want to see. And so all I want to do is see more of what's happening, but they're moving me to different places. And then it all culminates in this unbelievable sequence of these ships just wiping out major cities, huge, iconic landmarks of our country, and which leads me to like, look, I love this movie. I still love this movie, but Roland Emmerich drives me crazy because it's like the only thing he wants to do is destroy fucking famous shit. And I'm like, you got to have a little more substance, dude. And this movie is probably the most substantive movie that he has, with the exception of the one that followed it being The Day After Tomorrow, I think, a few years later, which is an okay movie, but it's carried by its cast. But the movie itself is really bad. Just like, there's a lot of really shitty things, just like in this one. But in this movie, it works, right? Like, because you're jumping, you see the White House, you see New York, you see all these places that just get obliterated, and you're like, oh, fuck. And then to your point, they even have this cool moment where they take the ship, the airplane, the jets up, and they're attacking it. That's tense. And then you have this moment that when I was a kid, I thought was great. When he punches the alien, as a human, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He just crashed his ship, and you're punching the mouth of his exoskeleton, knocked his ass out cold for
biomechanical suit.
Hours. Long enough to drag him across the desert, load him in a truck, and drive him miles away to a base. Dude, you don't knock anything out that long with a punch. And so I was like, and then it just gets weird, right? And to your point, up until we get back to Bill Pullman's speech as the president, everything in there just doesn't have the same I need to know what's going on feeling. Like, I'm like, okay, can we move on to where more action is? Like, this movie needed just to be 100% action after the destruction of the cities and stuff. Like, it just needs to be go, 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 go. And we get all this like dissemination of information that I just don't care about. And you get this ridiculous scene where the fucking alien's using the doctor's voice to talk, and the president gets this weird vision, and it's like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Like, I've seen this movie. It's the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It's like this. We just got real lazy right here. Like that, the writing gets super disjointed and lazy with all this exposition that just is unnecessary. Like, I don't care why the aliens are there. We just watched them destroy half of the planet. I don't give a fuck what their reasoning is. We need to destroy them, and we need to figure out how to destroy them. So why are we asking, can we have peace, versus how do we fucking kill your asses? Because, and then you get this great moment where he's like, where Adam Baldwin's like, is that glass proof? No. It isn't. You know what I mean? And they start unloading on this thing. It's like, there you go. Should have fucking done that to begin with, because you don't know shit other than the fact that they're going to destroy you, which you should have known by now already. They fucking 30 plus ships came in and just waxed the world. What do you think they're going to do? Leave? Yeah. Fuck off. So, yeah, I'm with you. It sucks.
The problem is that you had the setup for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you have in the background with all this other stuff that's going on, right? In the background, it talks about moving to new cities, right? So these ships start out at LA, DC, New York, big cities, and then they move to new ones. So you have the opportunity to keep this action going, as it's almost like, the world is losing ground, right? Moscow's gone, Delhi's gone, right? All these cities across the world, Berlin or whatever, they go. And so now you can almost have this almost retreat, fall back position type of a thing going on, where it's losing ground until you get to Area 51, get to the alien tech, let Jeff Goldblum work his magic. Yeah. And then from there, you can, finish off the act. But you have it almost be this, breakdown, and you have it, it's already set up for that. Yeah. But instead, we get stuff where now I'm just sitting there picking it apart, because in addition to punching aliens, I'm like, where in the fuck is Will Smith going? Right? Yeah. The president of the United States doesn't know shit about Area 51 in this, but you're telling me Marine Corps Captain Steve Hiller knows where to go with an alien?
Well, he saw it while he was flying over, getting attacked by an alien ship. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so it's like, so he knows where you're going. Like, now I'm sitting there picking this apart, because it's just not well done when you had the opportunity and you have the setup. And you could throw in there, that the Black Knights, is that their squad name? That maybe they're the best, right? And so you have these different squads that could go up, and just keep losing, can't figure it out until you have this kind of ramp up to the finish. But instead, we get all these pieces where it's like, oh yeah, I saw their plan. Yeah, okay, yeah. The plan is kill us all. It made it pretty clear 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And so then I'm just making fun of it. And so then by the time we get to this amazing Bill Pullman speech, I'm also sitting there going, like I said, first part's like, ooh, but anything that doesn't fit into that, I'm like, yeah. And so it pulls me out of it, because it didn't do a good job of continuing what it should have been, which is straight action, kind of lost cause, hopeless thing, until, we figure out, oh, hey, we can communicate with Morse code, right? Yeah. They can't track this. We don't have to use our satellites necessarily. We use this and technology. And then from there, oh, hey, we're able to, we have a program with us who's figured out how to crack the code. Maybe he can do something with that instead of, just, I didn't need the alien part because it doesn't contribute anything.
Yeah.
What we figure out about the aliens is that they wear these, exoskeleton suits, but inside you can shoot them.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't serve any purpose, because there's no storming of the mothership, right? Or there's no actual hand-to-hand combat. It's all aerial, which they got shields. So it fucking doesn't matter if you can shoot them. Yeah. They're behind the wall that you can't shoot through.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
So it's a hard one, because it's so good. It's set up for greatness. And there's parts of it that I'm just like, oh yeah,
so good.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's person was like, oh, you guys took the day off.
Yeah.
In terms of writing. So, someone should have watched what the interns were doing, because they swapped out some pages here of the script.
You guys had this amazing story, and then you went, how do we get from the beginning to the end?
Yeah. We got to make this, pull back. We got to have this interaction between, first contact type of a thing.
Yeah, we got it. And the whole Area 51 thing, like, I'd have a less of a hard time with it if I didn't already know that Area 51's been around forever and people have known about it forever. It's not, because like, well, it's not on the map. Oh, it's there. Get the fuck out of here. It is on the map. Like, they haven't been hiding it ever. It's what goes on at Area 51 that people speculate. It's not that they didn't know about this base. They've known that base has been there for a long ass time, and we've known about it. So why are we acting like the government's trying to hide it? Like, stop it. it'd be on the map. They just wouldn't let you in because, I don't know, it's a fucking military base. It's just so well. And then the dude rolls up and he's in the back of the truck and you can clearly tell he's military. Mm-hmm. I promise you too, within that military outfit is his ID, his military ID, which then would allow him to get on base, period. I know, I live a fucking stone's throw from one, and I know what it takes to get on one. So it's like, why? And then he's got to show the alien like all dramatic and shit. I'm like, get the fuck
That's
out
my
of here.
clearance.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you've got to, I guarantee your military ID's in your back pocket or in one of those fucking pockets. It just,
it's somewhere.
Me. Yeah. And that's the part that like, I know it's a movie about aliens. So don't at me because I've got suspension of disbelief. I love alien movies and I'm very good at I'm not Mattson. I'm very good at suspension of disbelief. What I'm not good at is when you waste my suspension of disbelief and you make things just stupid. And that's where I get like, it's just, look, it's a funny line, but I could have been at a barbecue. Like, it's funny. I laughed at it yesterday when I watched it, but that whole sequence is really bad because I'm sitting there going, the fuck's wrong with these aliens? What's the point of and then it gets worse when I find out about the exoskeleton. And I think about that. If you get some sort of military exoskeleton that's supposed to protect your fragile ass that's in the middle of it, why can it get punched in the face and knock you out? Like,
or cut with the scalpel.
Yeah. Like, what kind of exoskeleton is that? Like, that's weak sauce shit. Like, fuck, man. Anyway, it's just like there's so many things that I'm like, suspension of disbelief doesn't work because it's just stupid. There's a point where I'm going, I have to suspend disbelief because it's like sci-fi and we just don't know what's possible. But when I look at it and go, that's just dumb. Like, that's not sci-fi. You're asking me to be stupid. And I have a hard time doing that. So as a kid, I didn't have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. But as an adult, I'm like, that's really bad. Still funny, but it's bad.
Yeah,
bad.
And so one thing I will say, so I enjoy the humor in this. The humor in this is really good.
Top
and
notch.
I think they do a great job with the relationship.
Yes.
Between different characters, right? So Jeff Goldblum, Judd Hirsch.
Oh.
Amazing. Right? Pair those two up more often. That should
Jeff Goldblum, Will Smith.
More. Jeff Goldblum, Will Smith. Never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
But then even though it's not really meant to be humor and comedy, it plays that way. Mm-hmm. You've got Will Smith and the girl who plays Jasmine. I don't know her name.
Oh yeah, Vivica Fox.
Yeah, it's Vivica Fox. So you have that. My favorite line in this entire movie is where he's getting ready to go back to El Toro, and she's like, "But you're on leave. Like there's not a alien spaceship outside." And I'm sitting there going, my wife would do that. Oh, she would do that. Mm-hmm. You're on vacation.
Yeah.
Like, it got canceled the second those aliens showed up.
Well, I love too when he's like, "What's the problem? What's the problem? Oh, what's the problem? That's my fucking problem." She opens the window and just like, it's so good. Well, and I love it too, like that whole interaction because when he gets like, "Will you come over?" and I have to cancel all my girls coming over and whatnot, like, because it's so stupid. She's like, "You big old Dumbo ears," and he's like, "You little chicken legs." Like, it's all with this fucking alien spaceship over their heads. Like, I love those moments. Yes, you're right. Like the pairings that they have and the interactions, so great.
Gold, absolutely gold. And it's great when you have like those conflicting styles. Is why I think it works so well.
Yeah,
right. Because you have Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith are phenomenal together. And it's great because they're two very conflicting styles, right? But it plays so well. And even the dialogue matches up to where Will Smith's like, "We have got to work on our communication." Back and forth, like, oops, the oops joke that goes back. Like, we've got to work on. It's just beautiful because it plays into this differing style, not being able to communicate almost. And it's like, okay, like that was clever. Like, I enjoy that. And so that is almost a little bit of like where I think they should have turned more into, if they're going to slow it down and skip the action, is into this comedic pairings that they have because they play so well. You have so much content that you could pull from that. And you could almost just flip maybe a little bit of the action with the comedy. So you can still have the action going in the background, telling your story, but just cut everything with the aliens out of it. Yeah. We've talked about this before. If you have a big bad evil guy, or Big Bad Evil something, the less we see, the better.
Yeah.
Especially in a movie that came out in the 90s where you have CGI still kind of relatively new, up and coming. And the less you show, the better it is. Yeah. Because now you got your mind going like, what are they type of a thing. You can even show the dead ones that they recovered in the 50s or whatever, but keep it guessing of like, hey, we don't actually know much about them. Yeah. Because now it becomes a little bit more like you have Jeff Goldblum coming to save the day, right? Because what we got from the scientists who've been studying these things for 50 years is, we know they can be killed.
Yeah.
That was like it.
Yeah.
Like we know they're fragile and they breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
So nothing of importance, right?
Yeah.
Nothing that's going to help us survive this. And you've had 50 years. So it's like, I don't need that. It's not useful. So you can save that, cut that out, throw it away. And now it's very simple. Like, hey, we know nothing about them.
Yeah.
That's what we've got. We can't figure it out. And now you have Jeff Goldblum come in and kind of try a different approach that they haven't tried before, or whatever, and stumble upon it. And now you have that kind of tie way in, because I mean, it's almost like you set up for this alien reveal or this alien shindig, and then you don't do anything with it. And so now you're just giving me alien blue balls.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is you don't gain anything from that whole conversation and interaction. Like not anything that we didn't already know, right? Like, we know they're trying to destroy you. Why do we have to have this whole conversation and this 15-minute waste of my time that I don't enjoy when I could have had, look, we don't know shit except that we can kill them and we got to figure out how to get their shields down. And then take me to more of like Vivica Fox character saving the president's wife, right? Like, and because those, I want to know more about that because it directly relates to something that I can connect with, that really, I love that character because she was funny in the beginning and she made me laugh, but you know that there's a serious relationship there. She thinks he's dead. He thinks she might be dead. That whole dramatic thing. And I love the conversation she has with the first lady. Like, that shit's kind of funny too. I voted for the other guy.
Yeah.
Like, shit's great. And like the kid's great. So you had what you needed. And you make it sure it doesn't need to be a 2-hour and 20-minute movie. You could just cut some shit and we'd still like it, right? Like I'm just with you. Like, I think they tried too hard to give everything that they thought they needed, but they didn't need it. Like, they had enough with what they did in the beginning and the action and the comedy and the interactions. Like, I don't need the motivation from the aliens. Like, I just need Bill Pullman as president and doing a fucking great speech from a little microphone. That's like iconic. I memorized it at one point. I don't know it anymore. But when we did the band thing, something that's unheard of is non-music stuff. But we had while the music's playing, the same music that's going on and it gets crescendos and it's really pretty. One of our drum majors we had this big thing in the middle of it after that, like, so we had this section where you're playing it was really cool, actually. You can watch it online. I'll have to send you the video.
Yeah.
So there's this part where the music gets to the part where like all the aliens are attacking, the ships are attacking, right? We had this thing in the middle and and then it would like crush and go down. And we had it, and all of us would lay down and pose like we were part of the destruction or whatnot. And then we get up and it's this, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. That's how cool this shit was. And then we all get up and like there's this trumpet solo going on for the speech. And then all of us get up, we put our instruments back on and we start marching again. And our drum major did the speech with a microphone while we were dude, it was fucking dope.
That is cool.
And I got goosebumps every time. Like, it was such a cool show. We never took first place because there's this fucking band in American Fork that technically was better than us at doing the band shit. So they always took first place, but we always took second. But I'll tell you right now, the fan favorite was us because it was a year ago, the movie had come out. And it just fucking got you worked up because we had all the great music and the speech, and it was just fucking great. So the movie did some shit very correctly, and that's the part where I get, as an adult rewatching it, like I get really frustrated at the parts that they didn't do very correctly because it's so good when it's good, but it's really bad when it's bad, and so it's tough for me. But I will say that this will always be one of my favorite movies because of my interaction with it, with the band stuff. And I think it was peak Will Smith it was peak Vivica A. Fox. It was peak Jeff Goldblum, though he still does his thing just as good as he ever did. Yeah. I mean, Bill Pullman, like now, which is crazy because now his kid's getting famous. His kid is in the Thunderbolts movie as the Sentry, and he kills it. He does a great job, and he looks just like his dad. I was like, fuck. Anyway, so I mean, it's just like great. Like, there's just such a good cast with just poor writing at sometimes, and then some great writing. I mean, the opening scene of this movie is fucking phenomenal too. Like the people up at this weird fucking station freaking out. Like I love the part where he calls the guy, puts the phone up to it, and he fucking hits his head on the bunk bed. Then he's tripping over golf balls because he's freaking he's like, why the fuck is this here? Like I'm gonna fall on my ass. And you get the great when it's the end of the world playing in the back. Like it's just such good writing. And then it moves at a great clip. We go to the president. We go to the newsroom. I love that guy too with the raspy voice. I gotta call my lawyer. Forget my lawyer. And then he's the poor bastard's in the crap.
For $300 an hour, you can put me through his house in the Hamptons.
Yeah, love that guy. Oh, Mom, you gotta go to get in the car and go. He's laying under the desk. So good. Such a good. Yeah, the characters are amazing.
And it, like you said, it moves at a very nice clip.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they slow it
until
down,
it doesn't.
Yeah. Like, I mean, when they slow it down, it's just trash.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate bit is like right in the middle between two really good parts.
Yeah.
Is where you have just like, and so for me, that makes the ending worse because I've sat through the trash. And so now I'm almost looking for stuff, right? To be nitpicky about that. But yeah, like if you're talking just an hour and a half long and end it after they blow up stuff, dude.
Oh, so good.
I'm about it because it's so good right off the bat.
So good. I liked Randy Quaid too. That shit.
Yes.
At the beginning, you did the wrong field. Are you sure? So good. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but it works. The only thing that bothers me about his character is at the end when he's like absolutely belligerent drunk and then like a couple of cups of coffee and he's ready to fly in F-14. I'm like, hold on. Coming from someone that has had a lot of moments where I'm shit ripped out of my gourd, a couple of coffees aren't going to get me even driving a car, let alone flying a fucking fighter jet.
Well, then it also kind of ruins one of the greatest lines of the movies, which is, I picked a hell of a day to quit drinking. It's like, dude, you quit like 2 hours ago. What do you mean?
Yeah. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Dude, it's not going to make it better. I swear to God, it's not. Like, maybe tomorrow in 12 hours you could be flying some shit, but you're not doing it now. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it makes for funny shit. But again, like, it's just so unrealistic. Like, and then, like, the other one that really bothers me is, like, him being drunk and goofy, flipping that switch on the missile. And that is what sets up like his need to fly into the ship. Like just have him run out of missiles. Like we all know it's going to fuck it up. Like I could see that coming from even when I was a kid. I'm like, oh, that's not going to work later. You know what I mean? Like just have him run out. And then he makes that choice. Like don't force him to make that choice because he's an idiot.
Right.
Force him to make that choice because it's to save the world and his kids, right? Like that to me resonates more than, oops, I was drunk or sobering up and hit the button and now the missile doesn't work. So now I have to fly into this ship and sacrifice. It just kind of takes away from the nobility of that decision. And I know that's petty, but it does for me. Like as an adult, I'm like, that could have been avoided. And you could have made it a decision because it's a hard decision to make. And then the impact is there. It's not, well, I fucked up and pushed a button because I'd been drinking. And just make him be noble and have that decision because he has to, not because, whoops, I fucked up. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying because it again, right? It's because that second part of the movie is so bad. Yeah. But then you also have this really cool scene, right, where they're all like, where he's like, I still got one. Right. Yeah. And so they're like, oh, flank out, like you're covering them, and they form their own little like attack wing or
clear the road.
Yeah, clear the road. So you have this really cool sequence. But I think if you did something like, because this is their last missile. right? So it's like, hey, you got to get close because we've already missed a couple. You know, this is X-wing flying down the trench of the Death Star.
Yes, right.
You're aiming for a womp rat. You got to get close to make sure this thing works.
Yep.
And so then just have him get maybe too close, right, or whatever. Or he realizes, hey, I can't mess this up, so I'm just gonna go for it, right? Type of a thing. And because then that adds to it, and instead of having, like you were talking about, like, oh, whoopsies, right? And not getting it checked out late before you go, right? Like, there's so many things where it's you're trying to work it too hard and still have this noble kind of sacrifice. And you don't need it. Right, you can form your way where it's like, hey, we got to get close. You know, I got to go up there, right? Like, I got to get up there. I got to make it work because we're down to our last missile. There's no other option here, type of, because that's the desperate straits that they're in. They're in dire straits, and so. But for me, anyway, it's because it follows after the middle part. I'm gonna keep saying it to where now I'm gonna be nitpicky about shit.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. The movie does it to itself. So I agree with you completely. But there's so many opportunities. I think this movie could have been, and again, as a kid, it was absolutely amazing because I didn't give a shit. Now, from that perspective and hearing that podcast, and then, like you said, I come at it from like a more critical point of view because of what we do with these. But yeah, it's unfortunate because the writing was so good on the front and back end of the damn thing. Yeah. There's still, to me, not a movie that creates the level of tension that the first 45 minutes of this movie does up until the first launch of the Black Knights, right? Like that to me, like, holy shit. Because you don't know what's going on. These ships are huge. Everybody's either excited or afraid, and they're starting to figure out. And then you get this like moment of it's a countdown. When he figures it out, there's a fucking countdown. And he's like, I got to go to the White House. You're like, hurry up, fucker.
TikTok, dude.
And then so it just is so good. So all right, should we rate it?
Let's do it.
All right, it's mine. I'll go first. I really want to score this really high because of the nostalgia and the love it as a kid, but I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think it had the potential to be a 5, and I want to give it a 4, but I'm going to give it a 3.5 because when it's bad, it's really bad, like really bad, like almost unwatchable bad. But when it's really good, Jesus Christ, it is so compelling, and it is so fun, and it is so funny, and it's so tense, and it has great music, and it has great dialogue. But man, when it falls off into the toilet. And so I can't forgive that completely and put a 4 in front of it. So 3.5. I'll watch it again. I do love it. It's got some great speeches. It's got some great dialogue. It's fun. So I will watch it pretty much anytime, but I will shit on it when we get to the shitty parts. Just know that, no matter what. So, but I do still enjoy it. I still have fun watching it, so I would watch it almost anytime. And Will Smith just crushes it. Like, he steals this movie for sure. For sure. Him and what's his face? Why can't it? Just lost it.
Jeff Goldblum.
Him and Jeff Goldblum are the stars of this movie with like a really great speech from Bill Pullman. So there it is. Alec, your turn, buddy.
All right. I'm going to come a little lower. I'm going to give it a 3. And I think this movie, like we talked about, gets in its own way. And it's doing too much. And there's so much going on when you should have just stayed with what was working, which is tense action flick. Right? This could have been something like A Quiet Place. Right, with the kind of tension that they're building up in the first little bit of this movie. But because they're trying to do much, there's so much scattered, like by the time we get to the first lady dying, like I'm almost like, okay, take that, let's go. Like it doesn't have that emotional pull to it because you're having so many different side stories going on and so many different characters and this or that, and you almost forget for a while that there's 15-mile wide alien spaceships flying around the world. Like you start to forget that because of where the direction that they take the movie. And that should be like forefront coming at you the entire time to keep that level going. So when you get to this point where it's just so much is going on, it loses itself. Yeah. And so I'm going to give it a 3. I will watch it, but frequently I will be skipping about 40 minutes in the middle of it to watch the bits that I want to watch, because when it's good, it's good. And when it's bad, it's meh. Yeah. And so, but yeah. 3 for me. I love it.
Love it. Welcome to Earth. I always think too about the there's just so many one-liners that are just so good, and that's one of the Welcome to Earth. But the rest of it's so bad when it's bad, but when it's good, boy, it's great. All right, well, there it is, week 2, Independence Day of summer kickoff movies. Glad we watched it. I do like it. But then, Alec, tell us where they can find us when they're not watching or listening.
Happy to. So like JJ said, thank you for tuning in. This is week 2. We got a great lineup left for summer kickoff movies in June. No more my movies. I got mine out of the way on the first week, and I'm living that JJ life with the dry spell. But it's a pretty good lineup coming, so be sure to tune in for that. Best place to find us, though, if you want to get involved with podcast creation, is check us out on Patreon. Thank you to Rich and CB for selecting the movies that we're doing this month, and for the movies that we've done for really the past 8, 9, 10, 11 years long. I think we've been doing this as June. June is when we started kind of switching it up with our movie votes, I think. Yeah. And so we've been doing this for a long time. It's a great system. Guys, go join us on Patreon. What's Our Verdict Reviews. You can get involved without paying, I might add. No pain to get involved with the voting. You can choose topics that, we set out a couple topics, pick which one you want. That topic will send in some movies, and it's a real case of bragging rights for us if our movies get picked. JJ was 0 for like 27 this year until this month, and he clean sweeped with 3 of 3 being chosen. So it's a real thing with us, and we kind of really pulling for our movies to get picked. Part of that reason, a little behind the scenes action for you guys, part of that reason is because we will intentionally pick movies that the other 2 are gonna fucking hate.
It's true.
So get involved there. Doesn't cost you anything to pick for your favorite movies. I cut out again, so this is gonna be great. I'm gonna go back in, and the internet's gonna be good. It's fantastic. I didn't stop. I knew exactly what was happening because everything cut out. So you can get involved on the podcast. Doesn't cost you anything to get involved. Vote. Choose movies that you want to see us do. We love talking about movies that have been out for decades at this point. We love going back to some old classics, right? I mean, we just did 2 this month already from the 90s. Yeah. So join us there. It's never going to be a dull time. There's plenty of behind-the-scenes content to keep you busy as well. And with that, I'll kick it back to the fearless leader, the Titan of Terror, the Wazir of WAP, a JJ.
That's right. I wouldn't say fearless. I do have fear when I don't get my movies picked, because then I got to watch you fuckers' movies. And that's a fucking coin flip if I've ever seen one. So there it is. But I do like them. And as always, look, we appreciate you tuning in. We've had a good time this week. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Cinemagic out.
Whoa!